I'm sitting in the Starlight Motel, room 247, staring at my last $100 bill like it might multiply if I concentrate hard enough. The wedding ring sits on the nightstand next to it, catching the neon light from the vacancy sign outside. 22 years of marriage reduced to a circle of gold and Andrew Jackson's face. The irony isn't lost on me. $340,000. That's what I spent saving Melissa's life. Sold the house, the truck, my tools, even pawned this ring twice before buying it back. She beat the cancer, and I beat myself into bankruptcy doing it. I want a real man now, Jack, she said 2 months ago, standing in our kitchen. Well, her kitchen after the lawyers got done carving up what was left of my life. Someone who can actually provide. Provide. I provided her with a fighting chance when the doctors said she had 6 months. I provided her with experimental treatments in Chicago when insurance wouldn't cover them. I provided her with hope when she was too weak to lift her head off the pillow. What I couldn't provide was a future that looked like her Instagram feed. My phone buzzes. Text from Lexi, my daughter. Dad, Mom says you're not coming to my graduation. True? I type back, wouldn't miss it for the world, kiddo. She responds immediately. Mom says you can't afford the gas money. The phone goes quiet after that. 18 years old, and she's already learning to twist the knife like her mother. Maybe it's genetic. A knock at the door interrupts my pity party. I'm not expecting anyone. Hell, I don't know anyone who'd want to visit me in this place. The carpet smells like decades of cigarettes and broken dreams, and the air conditioner sounds like it's trying to start a motorcycle. I open the door, and there he is, Ethan Morrison, 6'2" of organic protein powder and dental veneers. He's wearing a suit that costs more than I make in 3 months at the car lot. Jack. He says my name like he's tasting something unpleasant. Ethan. I lean against the doorframe, blocking his view of my pathetic kingdom. What brings you to my palace? Before we deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. He reaches into his jacket and pulls out an envelope. Melissa thought you might need this. The envelope is thick. I can feel the bills through the paper. How much? 5,000. Enough to get you started somewhere else. Somewhere else. Like I'm a stray cat they're trying to relocate. That's generous of her, of both of you. Ethan's smile is all teeth and no warmth. She's moved on, Jack. We both think it would be better if you did the same. Moved on. I turn the envelope over in my hands. How long? What? How long have you two been together? The smile falters for just a second. Jack, I don't think... Because I'm curious about the timeline. See, I've been doing some math in my head. When did you start supporting the cancer research wing at Memorial Hospital? Was it before or after my wife's first round of chemo? Now the smile disappears completely. Ethan straightens his tie, a nervous habit I've noticed during the 3 excruciating dinners Melissa insisted we share. I think you're upset, which is understandable. Oh, I'm not upset. I step closer, close enough to smell his expensive cologne. I'm fascinated. You know what fascinates me most? The timing. Jack. Because Melissa started getting these mysterious phone calls during her treatment. Always stepped out of the room to take them. Said it was her support group. And you know what? She was right. You were supporting her. Just not the way I thought. Ethan takes a step back. For all his gym muscles and designer confidence, he doesn't like confrontation when it's not on his terms. Your wife was going through a difficult time. I was there as a friend. A friend. I nod slowly. The kind of friend who buys a woman a new iPhone when her husband's selling everything he owns to pay for her medicine. The kind of friend who sends flowers to the hospital with notes signed, "Your biggest fan." His face goes pale under his spray tan. How did you... The phone records, genius. Melissa forgot to switch the account out of my name. I hold up the envelope. This guilt money? Keep it. I've got something better than cash now. What's that? The truth. Ethan backs toward his Tesla, parked between two rusted pickup trucks like a diamond in a coal mine. You're making a mistake, Jack. Melissa's happy now. Don't ruin that. Ruin it? I laugh, and it echoes off the motel walls. Brother, I haven't even started. He drives away fast enough to leave rubber on the asphalt. I go back inside and open my laptop, a 7-year-old Dell that takes 5 minutes to boot up, but it gets the job done. The phone records are all there, downloaded before Melissa could change the account. Hundreds of calls and texts starting 8 months ago. Right in the middle of her treatment, when I was working 16-hour days to pay for her medicine and sleeping in hospital chairs to hold her hand through the rough nights. I scroll through the messages, my anger building with each one. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Jay thinks I'm at chemo. The new apartment is perfect. He'll never find us here. Only 2 more months and I can file. My lawyer says the DUI will help with custody. The DUI. A stupid mistake from 3 years ago when I drove home after 2 beers at Ray's retirement party. No accident, no one hurt, but enough to make me look like a problem in divorce court. I keep reading. He's so pathetic. Selling his tools like that's going to make a difference. Can you believe he pawned his wedding ring? I'm embarrassed to be married to him. After everything you've done for me, I can't wait to start our real life together. Everything he's done for her. While I was liquidating my entire existence, Ethan was playing the hero with his family money and connections. The experimental treatment in Chicago? He arranged it. The private room at Memorial? His donation made that happen? The miracle recovery that the doctors couldn't explain? There was no miracle, just a rich man buying his way into my wife's heart while I was too busy saving her life to notice. My phone rings. Ray Kowalski, my oldest friend and the only person in this town who still returns my calls. Jackie boy, how you holding up? Been better, Ray. Been worse too, but that was a long time ago. Listen, I heard about what happened at the gym today. I sit up straighter. What happened at the gym? Your boy Ethan was in there running his mouth, telling everyone how he's got himself a real woman now, not some broken-down contractor's wife. The room gets very quiet. Outside, a truck backfires, but it sounds like it's coming from another planet. He said that? Word for word. Also said something about how easy it was to take her away from a man who couldn't even afford to keep his own tools. Ray's voice gets harder. Jackie, I've known you since we were 12 years old. I've seen you work 70-hour weeks to pay for your old man's funeral. I watched you put yourself through trade school while taking care of your sick mother. And I saw what you did for Melissa when she got sick. You're twice the man that pretty boy will ever be. Thanks, Ray. I'm not done. Tomorrow's Friday. Ethan works out at my gym every Friday at 6 p.m., regular as clockwork. Just thought you should know. The line goes quiet. Ray's not suggesting anything, just sharing information. But we both know what Friday at 6 p.m. means. Ray? Yeah? Thanks for the heads up. After he hangs up, I sit in the gathering darkness of my motel room, planning. The old Jack would have taken Ethan's money and slunk out of town with his tail between his legs. The old Jack would have let them win, but the old Jack spent everything he had to save a woman who was already planning to leave him. The old Jack believed in playing fair, in doing the right thing, in turning the other cheek. The old Jack was an idiot. Friday at 5:45 p.m., I'm sitting in my rusted Honda Civic across from Ray's gym, watching Ethan's Tesla pull into the parking lot. The car cost more than I made in 2 years, back when I was making decent money. Now it just looks like a Target. Ray's gym isn't one of those chrome and mirror fitness palaces where Ethan usually works out. It's a converted warehouse in the industrial district, all concrete floors and heavy bags that have seen real violence. The kind of place where men go to remember what they're made of. Ethan looks out of place walking through the door in his designer workout gear. He's slumming it today, probably trying to prove something to himself about being tough. Rich guys do that sometimes. They get bored with their safe, sanitized lives and want to taste a little danger. Today, he's going to get more than a taste. I wait 10 minutes before going in. Ray's behind the counter, reading a newspaper and pretending not to notice me. Evening, Ray. Jackie, didn't expect to see you tonight. Thought I'd work out some frustration. He nods toward the locker room. Your usual locker's open. Take your time. The gym is mostly empty. Just a few regulars and Ethan, who's doing bicep curls in front of the mirror like he's posing for a magazine. His form is terrible, all show and no substance. Typical. I change into my old workout clothes and start with the heavy bag. Each punch is a memory. Melissa crying in the hospital bed while I held her hand. The foreclosure notice on our front door. The look on the pawnshop owner's face when I sold my father's tools. Ethan finishes his curls and moves to the bench press. He loads up more weight than he can handle. I can tell by the way his arms shake on the first rep. Pride comes before the fall, as my grandmother used to say. I finish with the bag and head to the locker room. Ethan's gym bag is sitting on the bench, unzipped. His phone is right there on top, screen lit up with a text message. From Melissa. Can't wait for dinner tonight. Wear the blue shirt, it brings out your eyes. The blue shirt. I bought her that shirt for her birthday 2 years ago, back when she was still pretending to love me. She said blue was her favorite color on a man. I scroll through more messages. Dozens of them, going back months. Pictures of the apartment they're sharing. My apartment, technically, since it's being paid for with money from our joint savings account. Photos of dinners at restaurants I could never afford. Screenshots of vacation plans to places I've never been. And then I find the conversation that changes everything. Melissa. He's starting to ask questions about the phone calls. Ethan. Don't worry. After the divorce is final, it won't matter. Melissa. What if he finds out we were together before I got sick? Ethan. He won't. He's too stupid to figure it out. Melissa. Sometimes I feel bad about the timing. Ethan. Don't. You deserve to be happy. Besides, the cancer just sped up what was already going to happen. I take pictures of the messages with my own phone, then put his back where I found it. My hands are shaking, but not from fear. From rage so pure it feels like electricity in my veins. Ethan comes into the locker room 5 minutes later, sweating and red-faced from his workout. He sees me and freezes. Jack, what are you doing here? Same thing as you, working out. I close my locker and turn to face him. How was your session? Fine. Good. He's nervous, fumbling with his combination lock. I didn't know you were a member here. I'm not. Ray lets me use the facilities sometimes. Professional courtesy. Professional courtesy? Ray and I go way back. We understand each other. I step closer. We understand loyalty. Ethan gets his locker open and starts pulling out his street clothes. Jack, I know this situation is difficult. Difficult. I taste the word like it's poison. That's one way to put it. Maybe we should talk, clear the air. I'd like that. I sit down on the bench, blocking his path to the door. Let's talk about timing. His hands stop moving. Timing? When did you first meet my wife, Ethan? At the hospital, during her treatment. That's not what I asked. When did you first meet her? He pulls his shirt over his head, buying time to think. I don't remember exactly. I do. It was at the Memorial Hospital fundraiser 2 years ago, before she got sick. I remember because she came home talking about this wealthy donor who was so passionate about cancer research. I stand up slowly. She said you'd lost your mother to the disease. That's right. Except your mother isn't gone. She lives in Florida. I looked her up. Ethan's face goes white. Jack, you lied to get close to her, played the grieving son angle, made her feel sorry for you. And when she got diagnosed 6 months later, you swooped in like a vulture. It wasn't like that. No? I pull out my phone and show him the screenshots. Because these messages tell a different story. He lunges for the phone, but I'm ready for him. I've been getting ready for 20 years of construction work and 2 years of rage. My hand closes around his wrist and squeezes until he gasps. You took my wife when she was in her final moments. You allowed me to sell everything I had to cover treatments you could have easily paid for. You saw me ruin my life to try to save hers, and you found it amusing. Let go of me. You know what the funny thing is? I would have stepped aside if you'd been honest. If you'd come to me like a man and said you loved her, I would have let her go, because I loved her enough to want her to be happy. I release his wrist, and he stumbles backward. But you didn't do that. You sneaked around behind my back like a coward. You let me make a fool of myself while you two planned your future with my money. Jack, please. I'm not finished. My voice echoes off the concrete walls. You want to know what a real man looks like? A real man doesn't steal another man's wife while she's fighting for her life. A real man doesn't lie to get what he wants. And a real man sure as heck doesn't brag about it to strangers in a gym. Ethan's back is against the lockers now. For all his muscles and money, he looks small. What do you want? I want you to understand something. This isn't over. What you and Melissa did to me, that has consequences. Are you threatening me? I'm educating you. I pick up my bag and head for the door. See you around, Ethan. I leave him there, shaking in his designer workout clothes. Outside, Ray is waiting by my car. How'd it go? Educational. Ray nods. Jackie, you know I got your back, right? Whatever you need. I know, Ray. Thanks. Just be smart about it. Don't do anything that'll make things worse for yourself. I get in my car and drive back to the motel, my mind racing with possibilities. Ethan thinks he's won because he's got the money and the girl. Melissa thinks she's won because she's got the rich boyfriend and half my assets. They're both wrong. Back in room 247, I spread the printed screenshots across the bed like a general planning a campaign. Every message, every lie, every cruel joke at my expense. The evidence of their betrayal laid out in black and white. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Stay away from Ethan or you'll regret it. I type back, who is this? Someone who cares about Melissa's happiness. I stare at the message for a long moment, then smile. They're scared. Good. They should be. Because the old Jack is gone, and the new one is just getting started. The anonymous text comes at 2 a.m., jolting me awake. Back off, or we'll make sure you never see Lexi again. I sit up in the motel bed, fully alert. The thread is clear, but the sender made a mistake. The phone number has a local area code, and when I reverse search it online, it comes back to Tara Mitchell, Melissa's best friend and fellow cancer survivor. Tara, who held my wife's hand through chemo while I was working double shifts. Tara, who organized meal trains and support groups. Tara, who I thought was one of the few genuinely good people in this mess. Apparently, I was wrong about that too. By morning, I've got a plan. It starts with a visit to Mrs. Delaney, the 70-year-old neighborhood gossip who lives across from what used to be my house. She's been watching the comings and goings there for 40 years, and nothing happens on Maple Street without her knowledge. I find her on her porch at 8 a.m., coffee cup in hand, already positioned for maximum surveillance. Jack Morrison! She waves me over like we're old friends. I heard about the divorce. Such a shame. Thank you, Mrs. Delaney. I was wondering if I could ask you something. Her eyes light up. Information is currency in small towns, and she's the Federal Reserve. Of course, dear. Sit down. I take the wicker chair next to hers. From here, I can see straight into what used to be my living room. Ethan's Tesla is in the driveway. I'm trying to piece together some things for the lawyers about when Melissa started having visitors. Mrs. Delaney leans forward conspiratorially. Oh, honey, I was wondering when you'd ask. For the next hour, she gives me a detailed timeline of my wife's affair. Ethan's first visit was 10 months ago, 2 months before Melissa's diagnosis. Tara was usually there too, playing lookout. "I felt terrible not telling you," Mrs. Delaney says, "but I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news when poor Melissa was so sick." "You did the right thing," I lie. "Is there anything else you remember?" She disappears into her house and returns with a shoebox full of photographs. I take pictures of the neighborhood for the Historical Society. Sometimes I catch things I wasn't expecting to. The photos are damning. Ethan and Melissa embracing on my front porch while I was at work. Tara keeping watch from her car. The three of them laughing together like they were sharing the world's funniest joke. The joke was me. "Can I get copies of these?" "Of course, dear. I'll have them ready this afternoon." I spend the rest of the morning at the public library using their computers to dig deeper into Ethan's background. What I find is interesting. He's not as wealthy as he pretends to be. His family money dried up 5 years ago when his father's real estate empire collapsed. The hospital donations, the expensive car, the designer clothes, it's all financed debt. Ethan Morrison is a fraud, just like everything else in this situation. My phone rings. Lexi's number. "Dad, Mom says you've been harassing her friends." "Which friends?" "Tara called her this morning, crying. She said you've been following her." I haven't been anywhere near Tara, but I don't correct the lie. "Lexi, there are some things about your mother and Ethan that you should know." "I don't want to hear it." "They were together before she got sick, before the cancer." Silence on the other end. "Lexi, that's not true." "I have proof, phone records, photos." "Stop it!" Her voice cracks. "Just stop. I can't deal with this right now." The line goes quiet. My daughter, the one person I thought I could count on, is choosing their side. It shouldn't surprise me. Melissa's had 2 months to poison her against me, but it still feels like a punch to the gut. I drive to Ray's gym to work off the frustration. He's training a kid on the speed bag, but waves me over when he sees my face. "You look like hell, Jackie." Feel worse than I look. "What's going on?" I tell him about the threatening text, about Mrs. Delaney's photos, about Lexi choosing their side. Ray listens without interrupting, his expression getting darker with each detail. "So, what's your next move?" "I'm going to destroy them." "How?" "The same way they destroyed me, piece by piece." Ray stops the speed bag with one hand. "Jackie, I'm your friend, so I'm going to say this once. Be careful. Revenge is a luxury you can't afford right now." I can't afford not to take it. Think about Lexi. You do something stupid, you might lose her forever. I've already lost her. They made sure of that. Ray sighs and pulls 2 beers from the mini fridge behind his desk. It's not even noon, but some conversations require alcohol. "You remember Tommy Kowalski? Your cousin? The one who went to prison?" "That's the one. You know what he told me when he got out? He said the worst part wasn't the time he served. It was knowing that while he was locked up, the people who wronged him were living their best lives." I take a long drink. "What's your point?" "My point is that revenge is only sweet if you're around to enjoy it. You go too far and you'll be the one who ends up destroyed. So I should just let them win?" "I didn't say that," Ray grins. "I said be smart about it." That afternoon, I pick up the photos from Mrs. Delaney and drive to the Memorial Hospital. The Cancer Research Wing has Ethan's name on a plaque by the entrance, along with a list of other major donors. I take pictures of everything, then head inside. The volunteer at the information desk is a sweet, elderly woman who's probably been here since the hospital opened. "I'm looking for information about becoming a donor," I tell her. "Oh, how wonderful. Let me get you some brochures." While she's gathering materials, I ask casually, "I noticed Ethan Morrison's name on the plaque outside. He must be very generous." Her face clouds over. "Well, he was, until recently." "Recently?" She leans closer, lowering her voice. Between you and me, there have been some questions about his donations. The accounting department is looking into it. What kind of questions? I probably shouldn't say. She glances around, then whispers, but apparently some of the money he pledged never actually arrived. The hospital is quite embarrassed about the whole thing. I leave the hospital with a new understanding of the situation. Ethan's not just a fraud, he's a fraud who's been caught. His house of cards is already starting to collapse. All it needs is a little push. That evening, I create anonymous social media accounts and start posting the photos Mrs. Delaney gave me. Not on my own pages, that would be too obvious, but on local community groups and neighborhood watch forums, places where gossip spreads like wildfire. The captions are simple. Interesting timeline on this affair. Photo taken 10 months ago, cancer diagnosis 8 months ago. You do the math. By midnight, the posts have been shared dozens of times. The comments are brutal. This is disgusting. Her husband was working himself to the bone to pay for her treatment. I know Jack Morrison. Good man. Didn't deserve this. Ethan Morrison is a snake. My friend works at the hospital and says he's been lying about his donations too. My phone buzzes with another anonymous text. Take the post down or you'll be sorry. I type back, make me. The response comes immediately. We know where you live. I laugh out loud in my empty motel room. They know where I live? I live in a $40 a night motel with security cameras and a desk clerk who's probably armed. Let them come. But they won't. Because bullies like Ethan and manipulators like Tara are cowards at heart. They're only brave when they think they're winning. Tomorrow, I'm going to show them what losing looks like. Sunday morning brings a knock at my motel door. I'm expecting Ethan, or maybe one of his hired tough guys, but it's Melissa standing there in a designer sundress that costs more than my monthly rent. Hello, Jack. Melissa. I don't invite her in. Little early for a social call. We need to talk. About what? I thought your lawyer handled all our communication now. She pushes past me into the room, her nose wrinkling at the smell of cheap disinfectant and desperation. About these pictures you've been posting online. I haven't posted any pictures. Don't lie to me. I know it was you. I close the door and lean against it. Even if it was me, those are public places. No expectation of privacy. You're trying to humiliate me. I don't have to try. You did that all by yourself. She turns to face me, and for a moment, I see the woman I married 22 years ago, before the cancer, before Ethan, before everything went wrong. Then the moment passes, and she's a stranger again. I never meant for it to happen this way. Which part? The affair? The lies? Or the part where you let me sell everything I owned while your boyfriend could have written a check? Ethan didn't know how bad our financial situation was. Stop. I hold up my hand. Just stop. I've seen the messages, Melissa. I know when it started. I know what you really think of me. Her composure cracks slightly. What messages? I show her the screenshots from Ethan's phone. Her face goes pale as she reads her own words back to herself. Where did you get these? Does it matter? Jack, you have to understand. I understand perfectly. You got tired of being married to a blue-collar guy who couldn't give you the lifestyle you wanted. So when you met Ethan, you saw your chance to upgrade. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? Explain it to me. She sits on the bed, suddenly appearing older than her 41 years. When I was diagnosed, I was scared, not just of the end, but of leaving you with nothing but debt and medical expenses. So you decided to leave me with debt, medical bills, and a broken heart instead? Ethan offered to help. Ethan offered to own you, and you let him. He made me feel alive again. When I was sick, when I thought I was going to pass away, he made me remember what it felt like to be desired. I desired you. I spent every night in that hospital chair because I couldn't bear to be away from you. That's not the same thing. You're right. What I felt was love. What Ethan felt was opportunity. She stands up abruptly. I didn't come here to relitigate our marriage. Then why did you come? To ask you to stop. The pictures, the posts, whatever else you're planning. Just stop. Why should I? Because of Lexi. She's already struggling with the divorce. This public humiliation is making it worse. Lexi's struggling because you lied to her too. She thinks I'm the bad guy in this story. You could be the bigger person. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. The bigger person. Like when I took out a second mortgage to pay for your treatment. Like when I sold my father's tools to cover your medication. Like when I worked 16-hour days so you could focus on getting better. Jack. I was the bigger person for 2 years, Melissa. Where did it get me? She heads for the door, then stops. There's something else you should know. Tara thinks you've been following her. Tara's paranoid. She's scared. She's been through enough with her own cancer. Tara never had cancer. Melissa freezes with her hand on the doorknob. What? I looked into it. There's no record of her ever being treated at Memorial Hospital. No insurance claims, no medical records. She lied about the whole thing. That's impossible. Check for yourself. Ask to see her medical records. Ask her about the treatments she supposedly had. Melissa's face goes through a series of expressions, confusion, doubt, and finally a flicker of understanding. Why would she lie about something like that? You tell me. She's your best friend. After Melissa leaves, I spend the afternoon at the public library, researching Tara Mitchell's background. What I find is disturbing. She's done this before. In 3 different cities over the past 10 years, she's inserted herself into cancer support groups, befriended vulnerable patients, and somehow ended up benefiting financially from their situations. In Phoenix, she convinced a wealthy widower to leave her money in his will before his prostate cancer took him. In Denver, she helped a young mother navigate her insurance claims and somehow ended up with access to the woman's settlement money. In both cases, she disappeared before anyone could connect the dots. Melissa was just her latest mark. I print out everything I can find and drive to Ethan's gym, the fancy one downtown, not Ray's place. He's there on the elliptical, sweating through an expensive workout shirt. I wait until he's finished, then follow him to the parking garage. Ethan? He spins around, startled. Jack, what are you doing here? Returning something that belongs to you. I hand him a manila envelope. What is this? Information about your girlfriend Tara. Turns out she's not exactly who she claims to be. He opens the envelope and scans the documents. His face goes white. This can't be right. It's all there. 3 different identities, 3 different cities, 3 different scams. She's been playing you and Melissa from the beginning. Why are you showing me this? Because I want you to understand something. You think you won when you stole my wife. But you didn't win anything. You just inherited my problem. Ethan looks up from the papers. What do you mean? Tara's been working on Melissa for 2 years, setting up the affair, encouraging the divorce, positioning herself as the loyal friend who'll help her through it all. And when the dust settles, guess who's going to end up with access to Melissa's settlement money? You're lying. Am I? When's the last time you had a conversation with Melissa that Tara wasn't part of? When's the last time you made a decision about your relationship without her input? Ethan's hands are shaking as he holds the papers. She's been helping us. She's been using you, both of you. I get in my car and roll down the window. Enjoy your new life, Ethan. You deserve everything that's coming to you. As I drive away, I can see him in my rearview mirror, still standing in the parking garage, staring at the documents that prove his perfect new life is built on lies. My phone rings, Ray's number. Jackie, you need to get down here, now. What's wrong? Just get here. I find Ray at his gym, along with 2 police officers and a very nervous-looking Tara Mitchell. There's been an accusation. one of the officers tells me. Ms. Mitchell claims you've been stalking and threatening her. I look at Tara, who won't meet my eyes. That's interesting. What kind of threats? She says you've been following her, taking pictures and sending anonymous messages. I haven't been anywhere near her. Ray steps forward. Officers, I can vouch for Jack's whereabouts. He's been here most of the day. What about the messages? I pull out my phone and show them my call log. You're welcome to check. I haven't contacted her at all. One of the officers takes Tara aside while the other questions me. After 10 minutes, they're done. We can't find any evidence of harassment, the officer tells Tara. If you have proof of these threats, you'll need to bring them to the station. After they leave, Tara approaches me. Up close, she looks older than I remembered, with the kind of desperation in her eyes that comes from knowing your game is almost up. You think you're clever, she says quietly. I think I'm thorough. Melissa trusted you. She loved you. Not enough to stay faithful. She was vulnerable, scared. I helped her see that she deserved better. You helped yourself to a payday. Tara's mask slips completely. You have no idea what it's like to have nothing, to watch everyone around you get the life you deserve while you're left with scraps. Actually, I do. The difference is, I didn't steal someone else's life to fix mine. This isn't over. Yes, it is. She leaves, and Ray locks the door behind her. What was that about? The beginning of the end, I tell him. Tara's running scared, which means she's about to do something desperate. And when she does, Melissa and Ethan are going to find out what it feels like to be betrayed by someone they trust. Ray opens 2 beers and hands me one. You sure you know what you're doing? For the first time in 2 years, I'm absolutely sure. Outside, storm clouds are gathering over the city. By tomorrow, everyone's going to know the truth about Tara Mitchell. And once that happens, the rest of their house of lies will come tumbling down. I can hardly wait. The storm breaks at 6 a.m. with a phone call from Melissa. She's crying, ugly, desperate sobs that would have broken my heart 6 months ago. Jack, I need your help. What happened? Tara. She's gone. And so is the money. I sit up in bed, suddenly wide awake. What money? The settlement from the divorce. The account we set up for Lexi's college fund. Everything. Her voice cracks. She cleaned out all the accounts this morning and disappeared. I should feel triumphant. This is exactly what I predicted. Exactly what I wanted to happen. But hearing Melissa fall apart brings me no joy. How much? $47,000. Everything we had left. The irony isn't lost on me. $47,000. Barely enough to cover 2 months of Melissa's cancer treatment, but apparently worth destroying 3 lives over. Have you called the police? They say since her name was on the accounts, it's not technically theft. She was helping me manage my finances after the divorce, so I gave her access to everything. Of course she did. Tara had played the long game perfectly, positioning herself as the helpful friend while setting up the ultimate betrayal. What about Ethan? He won't return my calls. I think he's gone too. I get dressed and drive to what used to be my house. Melissa's car is in the driveway, but Ethan's Tesla is nowhere to be seen. The front door is unlocked. I find Melissa sitting at the kitchen table, surrounded by bank statements and legal documents. She looks like she's aged 5 years overnight. He left a note, she says, without looking up. The note is typed, not handwritten. Coward's way out. Melissa, I'm sorry, but I can't handle this drama anymore. What we had was real, but it's too complicated now. I hope you understand. E. Real, I say out loud. He thinks what you had was real. Don't. Her voice is barely a whisper. Please don't. I sit down across from her at the table where we used to eat breakfast together, back when we were a family. What do you want me to do, Melissa? I don't know. I don't have anyone else to call. The admission hangs in the air between us. After everything she's done, After all the lies and betrayal and humiliation, she's still calling me when her world falls apart. Where's Lexi? At her friend Sarah's house. I haven't told her yet. About the money or about Ethan? Either, both. She finally looks at me, and her eyes are red from crying. How did you know? About Tara? I did my homework, something you should have done before you trusted her with your life savings. I thought she was my friend. She was never your friend. She was a predator, and you were her prey. Melissa's phone buzzes with a text message. She glances at it, and her face goes even paler. What now? She shows me the screen. The message is from an unknown number. Hope it was worth it. T. She's taunting you. Jack, what am I going to do? That money was supposed to pay for Lexi's college. It was supposed to be our fresh start. Your fresh start, not ours. I know I hurt you. You destroyed me. I stand up and walk to the window, looking out at the neighborhood where I used to belong. You didn't just break my heart, Melissa. You broke my faith in everything I thought was real. I'm sorry. Are you? Or are you just sorry you got caught? She doesn't answer, which is answer enough. My phone rings. Ray's number. Jackie, turn on Channel 7 now. I grab the remote and flip to the local news. The anchor is standing in front of the Memorial Hospital, talking about a financial scandal involving fake donations and identity fraud. Tara's photo fills the screen. Mitchell, who also went by the names Teresa Michaels and Tamara Mills, is wanted in connection with fraud schemes in 3 states. Police believe she may have fled the area with stolen funds. Jesus, Melissa whispers. The story continues with interviews from Tara's other victims, the widower in Phoenix, the young mother in Denver, and now several people from our own community who trusted her with their money and secrets. She's been doing this for years, I tell Melissa. You weren't special, you were just convenient. The news story ends with a request for information about Tara's whereabouts. The reporter mentions that she's considered dangerous and should not be approached. Dangerous, Melissa repeats. I let her into my house, around my daughter. You let a lot of dangerous people into your life. She looks at me sharply. Meaning? Meaning you traded a husband who loved you for a con man and a sociopath. How's that working out for you? Jack, no, let me finish. For 2 years I've been the villain in your story. The pathetic loser who couldn't provide for his family. The embarrassment you had to escape from. But look around, Melissa. Look at what your upgrade got you. I gesture at the empty house, the scattered papers, the evidence of her complete financial ruin. Ethan's gone, Tara's gone, your money's gone, your reputation is destroyed, and Lexi... I shake my head. Lexi's going to find out that her mother chose strangers over her own family. Stop it. The truth hurts, doesn't it? But here's the thing about truth. It always comes out eventually. My phone buzzes with a text from Lexi. Dad, can you pick me up? I don't want to go home. I show Melissa the message. She already knows. How? Kids talk. Social media. The news story probably hit her feed 5 minutes after it aired. I head for the door, then stop. For what it's worth, I'm sorry this happened to you. Not because you didn't deserve consequences for what you did, but because Lexi didn't deserve to see her mother fall this far. Jack, wait. I turn back. What happens now? Now? Now you figure out how to rebuild your life without destroying anyone else's in the process. I find Lexi sitting on the curb outside her friend's house, staring at her phone. She looks up when I pull over, and I see myself in her eyes, the same hurt, the same betrayal, the same confusion about how people you love can lie to you so completely. Hey, kiddo. Hey, Dad. She gets in the car and buckles her seatbelt. I saw the news. I figured. Were you right? About Mom and Ethan? Unfortunately. We drive in silence for a few minutes before she speaks again. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. You don't have anything to apologize for. You were trying to protect your mother. She lied to me too. People lie when they're scared or ashamed. Your mother made some bad choices, but that doesn't mean she doesn't love you. Lexi looks at me with surprise. You're defending her? I'm trying to help you understand her. There's a difference. Why? Because you're going to have to live with this for the rest of your life, and I don't want you to spend it hating your mother the way I spent the last 6 months hating her. Don't you still hate her? I consider the question as we pull into the motel parking lot. I'm tired of hating her. It takes too much energy, and I need that energy for other things. Like what? Like figuring out how to pay for your college now that the fund is gone. Lexi's eyes fill with tears. Dad, I'm so sorry. Hey. I reach over and squeeze her hand. We'll figure it out. That's what families do. Are we still a family, after everything that happened? You and me? We're absolutely still a family. Your mother too, even if it looks different now. We sit in the car for a while, watching the sun set over the city. Tomorrow, I'll have to figure out how to rebuild our lives from scratch. I'll have to find a better job, a better place to live, a way to restore some dignity to this mess. But tonight, for the first time in months, I have my daughter back. And that's worth more than all the revenge in the world. Dad? Yeah? What makes a real man? I think about Ethan, running away when things got complicated. About the lies and betrayals and the easy way out that everyone else chose. A real man sticks around, I tell her, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Lexi nods and leans against my shoulder. Then you're the realest man I know. And for the first time since this whole nightmare started, I smile and mean it. The last real man, indeed.